Christina Marie here. It is that time of the month again. Oh my gosh, not that time of the month. Monthly wrap up. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna share with you all the books that I read this month. How exciting. I'm wearing my shirt in honor of City of Heavenly Fire, which is also in this wrap up. I read 19 books this month, and that is pushing it for me, but I did it because I needed to. I have an author event that I'm going to in 2 weeks, and I needed to read a bunch of books because I hadn't read a lot of the books for the authors that are going to be there, so that's what I was doing. So 8 of those are for the Nashville event, and then I've gotten a couple of ebooks from publishers to read and review, and so about 5 of those are in this wrap up. So if they're ebooks, I don't have them like physically. They're on my Nook, and I don't feel like dealing with punching and flipping and all that. So I'm just going to insert a picture of the cover here in the screen somewhere. But yes, let's go ahead and go through these. It's a lot. Any of the books that I have separate video reviews for or blog posts for, I will link down below, and you can go check those out. Otherwise this will be a super long video, which we don't want, right? So let's go ahead and get started. Dorothy Must Die. This is the first book I read in the month of May, and we all know how I love this book. I rant and raved about it like nobody's business. I even met Danielle Page, who was fabulous. 5 out of 5 stars. I have a separate video / book review for this one, so I will link that down below. Next one is an ebook that was given to me by a publisher. It was an ARC. It is called One Night with a Cowboy by Elizabeth Otto. This book was okay. It is a contemporary / new adult romance. It was alright. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't unimpressed. I was just kind of meh. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, so review down below. Next book I read was Alienated by Melissa Landers, and I don't have this book anymore. I did have the physical book, but you know, it didn't do it for me. I wasn't in love with this book. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Review is down below. I just wasn't in love, and so if I wasn't in love with it, I wasn't gonna pay the $15, $17 it cost to have that book. I couldn't do it, so I sold it. Next book is Slammed by Colleen Hoover. I loved this book. You guys know Colleen Hoover is one of my favorite new adult authors ever. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Review down below. Followed that up with another Colleen Hoover book. This is Maybe Someday. I actually think this is Colleen's best work to date. Personally, this is the book that I love the most out of everything that I've read that she has written. This was phenomenal. 5 out of 5, hands down. Review down below. If I Stay by Gail Forman. This was a really good book. I loved this book. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The reason why I did that is because I wanted more. It's so short, but then again, Where She Went is the companion / sequel to this, so I guess if I read that, then I will have my more. So yeah, review down below. Next, I read Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLaria. This is her debut novel. It was really good. It was a lot. It was intense. This main character, oh boy, but I loved it. And so I gave it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy this book, and I do recommend it. I love the way that, you know, the various, you know, dead musicians and artists and inventors, all that kind of stuff. Amelia Earhart is in here. That's cool. Amy Winehouse. Everybody. Why can't I think of people that are in this book? Kurt Cobain. Duh. But yeah, it was really, really good. I liked it a lot, but it was just very intense. It was an emotional ride. 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I read was also an ARC from a publisher. It is Take Two by Laura Lynn Page. Loved this book. Loved it so much. 5 out of 5 stars. I met her at RT a couple of weeks ago, and I purchased the Fixed trilogy, which you will actually see in my TBR for June. But yes, I loved that book. New adult, very steamy sex scenes, but I loved it. Laura Lynn Page, oh, superb job. 5 out of 5 stars, as I said. Next book, All Lined Up by Cora Carmack. You guys know how much I love this book because I did a separate video review on it. I raved about it. You can see all my favorite moment tabs right here. This book gave me all of the feels. I don't know if you guys know, but I have a thing for older men, so I was attracted to the main character's father in this book, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. Coach Cole. 5 out of 5 stars. Next book I read is by Elizabeth Lee. It's another arc that was given to me by a publisher. It's called Where There's Smoke. And this was a new adult contemporary romance kind of thing, mystery. It was okay. 3.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. The reason why I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, I remember thinking, oh, this is going way too fast. Oh, this is going way too fast. Oh, you could have done way much more with that. That's what I kept thinking as I read, and I don't like thinking that. So I knew I wasn't going to give this a 4-star. The only reason I gave it a 3.5 is because I felt like the concept was great, but the execution sucked. For lack of a better phrasing there. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5. Next book I read, not an arc, it's just an ebook. This is an author that's going to be at the Nashville event along with Colleen Hoover. It is 10 Tiny Breaths, not breasts, by K.A. Tucker. I really enjoyed this book. It was a lot though. My brain, like, it's really at the crux of the book. It's about forgiveness. It is about how deep are your forgiveness wells. That sounds weird, but how deep are your forgiveness wells? How big is your breath of forgiveness? It was really, really interesting. The only thing that I just didn't love was just how crazily into each other the main characters were initially. Like, that kind of just threw me off a little bit, especially with given the context of their situation. But I did really love the story, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Review down below. Next book is a library book. It is Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. This is the first book in the blue, oh, here we go, Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I think there's like 12 books in this series, and this is book 1. My friend Ursula, hey Ursula, loved this book, and I think she said it gets better, and I can't wait to really get into this. This is a dark, dark romance, paranormal, dark vampires, sexy, dirty vampires. That's what I love. Forget that Twilight mess. I was never a Twilight fan. I'm not knocking anybody who is, but that's not for me. Those are gimmicky vampires. These are some real vampires. Like, oh, ooh, Wrath. Give me Wrath. That's the main character's name, Wrath. So yes, 5 out of 5 stars. I cannot wait to get my hands on the second book. Next book I read was The Token, volumes 1 through 3 by Murata Eros, and I gave that a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Same thing with whatever ebook I just told you guys about a few seconds ago. Oh my gosh, what book was it? What book was it? Where There's Smoke. It's the same thing. Great concept, crappy execution. The only thing that was really good about The Token that I loved were the cliffhangers. I loved the cliffhangers. Volume 3 ended on a cliffhanger, so I don't know what happened, but because it was a cliffhanger and I want to know what happened, I'm going to get volume 4, 5, and 6. But yeah, I'm just not loving the execution of the series. Not really, but 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next is my homage to J. Crownover, and so I read Jet, which I love. Gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Fantastic. Link for a blog post down below. I read Rome, which is the next book. 5 out of 5 stars. Link down below for a review. Loved it. Loved it. And then I read Nash. Of the 4 marked men books, here are books 2 through 4. Rule is number 1, and Rule's in my room because I read him a while ago. Rule is still number 1 in my heart. And then following is his brother Rome. Nash though, Nash is great. I love Nash as a character. He's fantastic. If this book was just about him, I would have loved it. It would have gotten a 5 out of 5 stars for me. But his girlfriend, Saint. Oh, that woman is so needy and so insecure and so just, oh, I can't stand her. You know, in every group, there's always one that you like least of all the others. And I can tell Saint is the one that I just don't like as much as the others. You got Shaw, who's kick butt. You got Aiden that's kick butt. And then Cora. Cora can kick your ass, pregnant or not pregnant. And then you bring in Saint. Saint doesn't fit in this at all. And I don't love her at all. So she's the reason why I gave this one a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5 out of 5. I loved the concept, loved Nash. I loved everything about this book except Saint. Saint just was a walking pity party for me, and I just was not about it. Sorry. I'm bummed out about it too. But yes, love my marked men brothers. Love them. Mwah. And then, of course, like I said, Rule and Rome, my Archer brothers. Oh, give them to me. Next book I read is another ebook that was given to me for review, On the Rocks by Alyssa Rose Ivy. I really liked this one. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It is the second book in the Mixology series. I did not read the first one. You don't really need to read the first one in order to get the second one. They can be read separately as standalones. The characters from the first one are in the second one, but like I said, you don't really need to have read the first one. I liked it. I really liked that book. I thought it was really cute, really fun. You know, it wasn't too deep. And especially after reading so much J. Crown over, where you could have a tendency to get a little deep, or I got a little frustrated with Saint, like I said. I needed something a little lighter or a little less intense. And On the Rocks was a little less intense, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. You know, it had its deep moments, but I loved it. It was great. 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I read is by Tina Reber, who is also going to be at the Nashville event. This is Love Unscripted. This book is long. It's big. It's just over 500 pages. This book was unnecessarily long. If I'm to be honest, it was unnecessarily long. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I docked that half a point because it was unnecessarily long. This book dragged on and on and on and on and on and on and on. I mean, the happenings were good, were really good. The story was great. I loved the development. The characters were great. Everything was great, but it was just long, and I felt like it could have been shortened. The main character, Taryn, punched her in the face. Oh my gosh, there were times where she was so aggravating and so just ridiculous. She was so insecure. And at some point, I kept telling Ryan, boo-boo, Ryan's the main character, don't sit here and waste your energy trying to convince this girl that you love her when she can't even realize it. You're doing everything under the sun to show her that you love her, but because she's been scarred and hurt from the past, she's bringing all that to the future, and it's just bogging you down with insecurities. Like, no. She eventually wised up. Like, Taryn is a strong girl. She is a really strong girl, but she would let one tiny thing take her to the depths of hell. Oh, and it was just so annoying, and she kept making stupid decisions. She has a best friend in here. I think her name is Marie, if I remember correctly. Her best friend, I love. Her best friend slapped the shit out of her at one point, if I remember correctly. And I was like, yes, you need to get punched in the face. You're being stupid. But because this book took me on such an emotional roller coaster, I couldn't help but love it. It was so great. I was emotionally involved with this book the entire time. 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was just too damn long. The final book that I'm closing this month out with. Here's my shirt. It is the book that got me reading. It's the book that is part of the series that got me reading again. It is the series that can bring me to my knees and make me feel everything. It is the series that I will miss intensely. The characters. It is the series that brought me some of my closest friends. It is the series that started my life as a booktuber and as a blogger. The final book in the Mortal Instrument series, City of Heavenly Fire. I'm not going to say much about this because people are still reading it. I loved it, though. As a fan and as a person who loves to read, as somebody who is a fan of Cassandra Clare of this series, Cassandra Clare respects her fans and respects these characters, loves her fans and her characters so much. She did it justice, and she thought about us as she wrote this. I could tell she thought about us as she wrote this book. Look at all my favorite moments in this book, you guys. Look at all my favorite moments throughout this book. She took great care of us in this book. That is what I will tell you. If you have not read it, that is all I will say. I won't tell you a single thing more. I will say that I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars on principle, but in the context of the book itself, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, only because there was one thing that I was waiting on that I didn't get, but it's really no big deal at all. It's just me being silly. But yeah, I cried when I was done with this book. I really did. And I will do a review on it, a full review on it soon, but I'm going to do it maybe sometime in June because I want to give people time to read it. But yes, 5 out of 5 stars. That is the score that you will see on Goodreads. That's the score you will see on my blog. That is the score you will hear about in my book review when I make a video. 5 out of 5 stars. Totally. Hands down. Phenomenal book. So that's it. Those are the books that I read for the month of May. I capped it off right. Didn't want to read a single thing after City of Heavenly Fire. I wanted to take the rest of the month, the 3 days that are left, to just appreciate how fabulous Cassandra Clare is. That's what I want to do. My favorite author, my favorite series, she gets the rest of the month. So I'm probably gonna skim through this book for a 3rd time and make sure I got all my favorite moments marked down. By the time you guys see this video, I will have a new tattoo, and I'm going to put it here, and I'll show you what it is when I have it. I already have one here, my Divergent tattoo, and then I'm gonna get my, oh hi Bailey, I'm gonna get my The Mortal Instruments tattoo right here. It's gonna be a quote from City of Glass, and you guys probably already know what it is if you follow me on Instagram and on Twitter and all that fun stuff. You want to get down for a sec, sweet? Thank you. But yeah, so that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below with the books that you read. If you guys can guess the quote that I'm going to get right here from City of Glass, I will choose the person who is right, and I will mail them a copy of City of Heavenly Fire. It's not really an official giveaway, but I'm just putting it out there. If you put the correct quote in the comments down below, I'll pick a winner and I will mail you a copy of City of Heavenly Fire. That's how in love I am with this series. I just want to give the book away. I really, if I could buy like 20 copies and just hand them out to people on the street, I totally would. I'm talking way too much. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye guys.